Hey everybody, it's me, Jake, from Jake and Off, the podcast that you clicked on. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode. This week, I am joined by none other than Jay Petty. Everybody, give him a round of applause. Come on. You can follow Jay at Petty Comic on social media, and also make sure you check out their show at Cinderblock Brewing Company in Kansas City called Rinse Do. You can find more information about that on their social media, again, at Petty Comic. Other than that, same as always, everybody, thanks so much for listening to the episode. Give this podcast a follow, a like, a subscribe if you enjoy it. Leave us a review and send anything at all to jakeandoff.podcast@gmail.com. And without further ado, enjoy the episode. Time in Chicago. That's like the last place that I was when I recorded the podcast. And I stayed with Aaron Naylor and his girlfriend. Nice. And they got me really into watching Secret Life of the American Teenager. Have you seen this show?
No.
Dude, okay.
So is that like a YA like
Yes. So it was
Riverdale like
So
not as bad.
That came way later than this. So this is from like 2008.
Oh.
Do you know Shailene Woodley?
Yeah.
She's like the main character, and it's like made by the same lady who made like Seventh Heaven and stuff. So it's more soap opera style shit. But it was on ABC Family, and we're like pretty close to the same age. It would have been when we were in like high school ish, like either like late middle school, early high school, middle high school. And the whole premise is the show starts out with Shailene Woodley is pregnant. She gets impregnated by this guy named Ricky at band camp.
As I feel like I'm remembering this now.
Dude, it was really popular. Yeah. A lot of people our age, I'd never really seen it before. Like I think I watched it maybe at like a friend's house once, but it was on ABC Family. You remember ABC Family?
Yeah.
Dude, it's a strange show. It's fucking like wild. It's very sexual. They're all children, but it's like very sexual.
The Secret.
Here,
how many? Pull it up.
Yeah.
Were they like in like a? Were there like orphans or adoptees in the family or something?
There was. So the guy who gets Shailene Woodley pregnant, his storyline is that he is lives it with with his foster parents because he was taken away from his dad because his dad sexually abused him. They're like very explicit about that aspect of the story, but the way that everybody treats it is like so strange because they're trying to like draw attention to abuse or whatever, but it almost seems like it's like too early for them to even understand what they're dealing with. And so their whole thing is like everybody keeps treating this guy like they're like he's damaged goods. You know, like we don't need him. And they're like, but then at the end of those episodes it ends with like that character on screen being like, abuse is never okay, like if you like need help, which is good, right. But it's like, dude, you guys are portraying this like still shitty. And they do the same thing with the pregnant teenager. Like they make it not realistic at all. So like the whole character for Shailene Woodley is that she's like this perfect girl that just happened to give in and have sex with this dude at band camp because he's like a bad guy and like, you know, everything's about sex. And you know, she gets pregnant and has this baby, and like nothing is.
Did you enjoy this watch? How many episodes did you watch?
Oh, bro, I've watched. Me and Aaron Naylor and Aaron's girlfriend Steph watched like a whole season while I was in Chicago, and I made Ginny. We started it from the beginning, and I made Ginny watch it, and we've watched like 15 episodes. It's insane how bad the show is. One of the
I just
ladies,
love that you were in Chicago and you were like, let's watch a whole season.
dude, we were, I mean, there's only so much to do during the
True.
day. It's like, what am I gonna fucking eat more delicious food? I'm full. Like, we gotta sit down every once in a while.
You're not a gay man. I'm like, oh, there's so much you can do in the day.
Dude,
it's market days this weekend. I'm sure there was like a lot of people there last week too for it.
Dude, it was preparation. So it was Lollapalooza while I was there.
Oh, nice.
It was fucking insane.
Do you know what Market Days is?
Market Days is something gay.
Yeah,
it's
like it's not gay pride, but it is. It's like this big gay event thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, you weren't supposed to have to pay at Market Days. It's supposed to be suggested donations, but like for the businesses or whatever. But apparently, they like don't let you know that. I found that out today. I said, "Oh, bitch, I might go if it's free."
Wait, so what is it? It's supposed to be free, but these businesses
they'll
capitalize
be like,
on it.
Yeah. Instead of saying suggested donation of $20, it'll be like $20 at the door, and it's like that's illegal.
I'm starting to think that these businesses don't have everybody's best interests at heart.
Right?
Things are starting to add up different than they said it does.
They played naked dodgeball, and it looked fun.
Oh, at Market Days?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
I know. I was watching videos of it on Twitter, and a lot of people weren't fully naked. That's fine, but there also were a lot of people that were naked. It also didn't really look like dodgeball. It just looked like a bunch of people running around.
Okay. I typed in Market Days naked dodgeball thinking that Twitter would come up, but it's all
porn.
Dude, okay, here, let's see. Oh, there it is. They're not naked.
They're
not naked at all.
No, hold on.
What the fuck?
No one was naked in that video. Okay, here's the naked people.
Okay. No, they still have underwear on.
Look, you see butts?
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
A lot of people in jock straps. Oh, I saw a penis.
You saw dong, dude. That guy was hanging. There it is. Okay. All right. Okay, respect. Those other people were
now
not
that's
naked.
the Market Day event that I would want to have. That sounds fun.
You want to go play naked dodgeball?
Yeah.
You a big connoisseur of dodgeball?
Being naked.
It's the naked.
No, I do love dodgeball though.
Yeah, I like.
How
dodgeball.
about you?
I liked it.
Were you one of those people that just fucking try to fucking smear people?
No, I can't.
I can't
throw. I can't throw hard enough to like smear
Did
anybody.
You play smear the queer?
I'm just trying to survive.
Did they ever play that whenever you were growing up? Smear the queer.
When I was like a little kid, there was like. But then they started calling it something different.
Jackpot? No, that's different in itself.
That was like 500 or something where you throw the ball in the air. It's funny
but we would play like Jackpot, Smear the Queer. Like if the person caught it and you tackled them and got the ball from them, like that was your pot now.
Yeah, that sounds cool. We didn't play that way. We were safer. We were way safer.
I was from small town. Everything was about queer.
It really is kind of like that though in small towns, right? Like it's so repressed that it just is like, I mean, it manifests as like bigotry and stuff, but it's just because it's like all these people are like, oh, he's cute. Right? Like low key is it, right?
Yeah, they're like smear the queer ass. They throw it at me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about smear, but I butter his bread. I would butter his bread.
Man,
because you joke about like blowing the dudes on your baseball team. Is this okay to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely.
But like it's real though. Like,
yes, but I will say. It actually wasn't during the season. I wasn't blowing them during the season.
Yeah, well, you guys are focusing on
joke
baseball.
Effects. But
that's where you embellish.
Yeah, later on throughout life in our high school days, yes.
Yeah. And it's like, did you find that those people, like, were they prior to that, were they like closed-minded? Were they like, or like, you know, like, who were they as people? Did you see it coming? I guess, like, you got to get a sense of this, right?
Yeah, for sure. I remember the first time I got put on a batting lineup. Yeah, my friend was like, "If you hit a home run, I'll blow you." Which sounds like you just want to blow me, bro.
Yeah, that's true. That's so funny.
Like, but some other dudes on the team were like, "What the fuck, bro?" And he's like, "What? He's not gonna hit one." And they were like, "Yeah, but why would you say that? Like, what if he does?"
and so, because were you out?
No.
Okay, so but
I wasn't out, but yeah.
Yeah, and so
I wasn't out, but I was getting asked all the time, "Are you gay?" To the point, when people would say, "I have a question for you," I would just be like, "No." Like, the answer is no, because they'd be like, "You don't even know what I'm gonna say," and I'm like, "Bitch, you're gonna ask if I'm gay." Like, no.
And so why were people being like, why would you say that? Because they just thought that guy was being gay. Because clearly he was. Kinda, like, he's like into it.
Yeah.
And so that's so. I think it's like so.
But also
funny.
in my head, I'm like, what about if I hit a home run? Can I blow you?
Yeah.
You better do.
You're like,
I know how to do it.
Either way, you're like, I'm trying to hit a home run.
I was like, oh fuck yeah.
That's so funny.
I got walked.
It becomes a scandal. You become the best baseball player of all time because you're just like they're like, everybody's like, what's your secret? Like,
breaks the high school record for home runs?
It really is, though. It really is such a bummer that like people are like so scared of like that stuff that they have to like repress it that much. It's just like, dude, like, why? Like, this just sounds so bad, you know? Why do people act that way? It's crazy to me.
I have a joke about a dude coming up to me at a basketball game, and he's like, "You're telling everybody we're gay," and I'm like, "No, I'm telling everybody you're gay." That was that dude. Same guy.
That's hilarious.
And he like walked up to me with a group of his friends, which bad idea. I don't know. Like, obviously I was going to spin it around. Like, what was I going to say? Like, yeah or no? I was like, no, but yes. You. I'm telling everyone you're gay, bro.
That's so great. How many people were in your graduating class?
I think we had like 176.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so like.
I think I was like 173.
And how many people like lived in your town?
13,000.
Okay. So that's like, I'm going to a town to do comedy, Marquette, Kansas.
Marquette, Kansas.
It has 599 people.
Oh my gosh. What's the closest town?
I think probably it's 3 hours away, so probably like Manhattan or something. Marquette, Kansas. Oh, holy shit. Wichita is close. Hutchinson, Salina. It's by Salina. Yeah. Kind of in the middle of fucking nowhere. I mean,
Salina, is it like, where's it at?
It's right here. It's this blue.
Like,
it's
where's
this.
the show at? In a bar? Or what?
It's at a distillery.
Oh.
So I have done. So I've done like shows in towns like that where there's, you know, like hardly anything to do. One of the worst shows that I've ever done was in a place like that. And it wasn't even bad because of the people, just the situation was awful. It was the middle of July. They had no AC. There was the bar. It was a bar, but it was like this huge room. It's the only place that's even still open on this like main drag of towns because like nobody lives there anymore, hardly. And so like all the people show up, but there's no air conditioning, so they have a giant industrial fan that's just in the middle. It's in between.
Loud as fuck.
It's in between. It's literally in between the stage and where all the people are sitting. And so it's like this huge room. You're like way on one side. People are like way back in the corner, and you're like yelling to them. It's so hot, dude. God. It was my birthday. So it was July the 9th. I was 20 years old, I think. Yeah. I was like 20 years old. And this actually might have been... No, this was after I turned 21. So I was maybe like 21, 22. And it was awful. Like, it was so bad. But there was no bartender behind the bar. It was just like a regular refrigerator that would be in like your kitchen. And they were like, yeah, it's just sort of the honor system. Like, there's beer in there and leave some money on the counter for however much you drink, you know?
Very barrel.
And we were like, all right. And yeah, it was terrible. It was awful. You're just like dripping in sweat the entire time. And that's how I spent my birthday.
That sounds... I've never had a show like that, but I have had, like, I booked this drag queen to do my hometown pride, and it was like 100 degrees that day.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is my godmother was like driving her back and forth from the park to her restaurant so she could have somewhere an AC to change because it was so fucking hot. I can imagine doing like being inside.
It was like stale and there was sawdust everywhere. It was like so humid and there were no windows and stuff. It's just like an old wooden building. It smelled really musty. It's just was like disgusting, dude. And yeah, that's probably one of the worst shows I've ever done. Now what I can do is
so Molly Ringwald, am I supposed to know?
Molly Ringwald was in like the Breakfast Club and shit. Oh. She was like obviously the redheaded younger. Girl. Yeah. But this is
I've never watched the Breakfast Club.
Let's see if we can get to like...
Is the Breakfast Club a good movie?
Dude, it's okay. I mean, it's like a teenage young adult shit.
Was there just like not many movies like that at the time, and that's why it's like such a cult classic?
I think that it was kind of the first one of the first movies to sort of do well. That's not true, actually. I think it's just one of those movies that captured sort of the times really well for people that were like living in that period at that time. Right. Like that's why it was a hit,
right?
Because people that were, you know, high school students in the 80s were like, that's just like exactly kind of how it is. You know, that's as close as it could be. It's like the same thing with I don't know if you like know the book The Outsiders. Mm-hmm. That was like written by
oh my God.
A 14-year-old girl.
That movie.
Yeah, exactly. That was so. It was written by
that has like
a teenager.
Like very greasy, right? That Outsiders.
Yeah, the whole thing is it's like the greasers versus the socias or whatever, like these social groups. Yeah, exactly. And Stay Golden, Pony Boy, all that stuff. And that was written by a teenage girl. She was like 14 when she wrote that. Wow. And it's the exact same kind of thing. There's just like different generations. What is ours?
Wasn't Frankenstein written by a 14-year-old girl or 15-year-old girl?
Yeah, that was written by like a teenage girl as well, I believe.
Come on, 14-year-old boys, what are you writing?
Yeah, they're writing.
Actually, Hitler's Manifesto.
No, I don't think that was when he was 14.
Maybe
it came later for him.
What would be a 14-year-old text?
Dude, I do want to bring this back to something, though, because we were talking about naked dodgeball. And one of the articles that I pulled is this so there's no videos or anything. I was just gonna tell you about it. But this basically these nudists in Catalonia in Spain are.
What was that headline?
So that's the headline is a lack of respect. Catalonian nudists campaign against clothed tourists. So these nudists, like in Spain, every beach can be a nude beach. Like you can be a nudist on any beach in Spain.
Nice.
But there are certain beaches where they're like, these are nudist beaches, you know? Because it's just like, it's like common decency is the way that everybody sees it. They're like, you know, yes, like you can be nude on any beach. Like that's fine. But out of respect to everybody and like people's desires, we try to keep the nudity to these beaches. But the trade-off is that these beaches are supposed to be nude beaches.
Right.
And now these people have been invading their beaches and they're showing up clothed and shit. And so the whole problem that they're faced with and what they're upset about is they're like, these are nude beaches and everybody's showing up with clothes on. And now there's more people with clothes on than there are nude people. And it makes us look like assholes.
Right. I'm dead. Like, get naked, bitch.
Yeah.
So but also, like, why are you going to a nude beach and not getting nude, stupid bitch?
That's exactly their point.
That would piss me off too.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, dude, you're showing
go to the
up,
other beaches.
And I didn't even think of it as a thing, like as a way that it could play out. But now that this is like happening, and they're like, yeah, all these people are clothed now, and there's more clothed people than there are naked people, and it makes us uncomfortable. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
And so now they're like, we're gonna have to like actually specify which beaches are nude beaches and which ones aren't, because this like sort of deal that has been respected, it's not even a deal, it's just like this unspoken sort of thing has been like violated by these clothed pieces of shit.
Right.
And so, yeah, this is I mean, I don't know if that's the actual beach.
That is a cute beach, though.
Yeah. Nudism is not banned in Spain. You can do it on any beach. This guy is the leader of the Naturist Nudist Federation of Catalonia. But so as to not bother people, we prefer to go to beaches that have traditionally been nudist and where most people are naked. We want people to respect this. It's so reasonable.
Would you go to a nude beach?
Maybe. I'm not against it. I don't know. I think that there are like scenarios where I could see myself doing that, you know, but there's also aspects of it that make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, it's like my whole thing is like I'd be like worried about seeing people that I know. And not in any sense that's different from like other scenarios. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different because it's a little more intimate.
Right. Like
seeing my completely naked body. But like I don't want to like run into somebody that I went to high school with there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that in my mind. I don't think
that would happen in Catalonia though.
Not in Catalonia. Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying is like there's like a context where I can imagine myself doing it.
Yeah.
But there's also context where I can imagine myself being like, nah, no way. Like if you're talking about going to a nude beach and like like Lake Clinton and Lawrence, I'd be like, that's not a safe place for me to do that.
Imagine being a tourist and like you're wanting to go to a nude beach, but you show up and you're like, so like, is this a nude beach or not? Because there's so many people clothed.
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
Right. No, exactly. It's you know, first of all, like, I think the idea that being naked is like wrong somehow is like already like sort of just like unnatural. Like it's just like an unnatural way to feel. I understand like though that we like the way society is like we just can't be naked all the time. Like it's you know, it's just it doesn't match up with anybody's like sensibilities on like a broad level anymore, and that's unfortunate. But it's just like the reality of it, and like, you know, I get that. I don't think that like, you know, wanting to like be naked at the beach is like deviant behavior. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think a lot of people probably do think of it that way. You know, it's weird, but it's just like, no, dude, that's just like how you're born. Right. You know, like that's like the most, you know, like base level of humanity is just like, yeah, just like skin. When you're, you know, all of this other shit is like made up, like right. We invented all of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, you know, the beach and you being naked is like how it's like drawn up. Like that's how it's supposed to look. Things have changed. Things are different, but like that's like the level one, you know? And people, right. I don't know, people are like totally like fine with that in other stories. Like even in the Bible, like Adam and Eve like walking around naked in this garden and they're like, yeah, it was perfect. Everybody was naked and nobody even noticed. Right. Like that's the whole idea. And so
at the nudist beach.
Yeah, exactly. But then now people show up to a nudist beach and they're like, we just want to be naked and pretend like, and not even pretend, just like it doesn't matter. Right. You know? And all of the people who are like against that the most are also the people who are like, man, women sure did screw us all over in the Garden of Eden. And it's like, dude, you guys, literally the thing you believe in is like what these people are doing.
Right.
It's all fucking, it's fucked up, dude. What is the deal?
We've lost a bit of civility.
Yeah. Dude, and it's, the funny thing is like, you know, I think that most people would see this and they would be like, yeah, the civil ones are the people with clothes on. Right. But it's not. It's the people with clothes on that are being uncivil. Take your shirt off if you want to be served here. Right. Take off those. They have signs there that say shirts. Shirts, no shoes, yes, service. I don't know. How would you phrase it? Like just the opposite. They're like basically shirts, shoes, fuck, no service. I don't know, but you get the joke though. Yeah. They're just like trying to say like, if you got a shirt on, you ain't fucking welcome here.
No ass, no dick, you gots to get. I don't know, something stupid.
I love the idea of like them being intolerant of people that have clothes on, being like, right. You're gonna have to take them pants off. If you round these parts, right. We take our pants off, boy. It's just me being like, yes, sir.
You got a problem? You got a problem over there? Why's your clothes on?
But they're also all Spanish, so they talk with that lisp. Your cloth. Your cloth on.
So dead.
Your penis.
That's
how they say penis. Penis.
Close.
Penis.
Have you watched The White Lotus?
No, I haven't. Well, I started it. I've like seen like the first couple episodes of the first season. It's good though. It's got Jennifer Coolidge.
So good.
Jennifer Coolidge is in Secret Life of the American Teenager. Oh, wow. She plays a sex worker that gets married to a rich kid's dad. And the rich kid's dad is played by Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos.
Bobby Bacala.
Yeah. Bobby Bacaliari.
Bobby Bacaliari.
A.K.A. Janice's husband in The Sopranos. Junior's
I've never
boy.
seen The Sopranos either.
It's a good show. It's pretty good.
I made a promise to someone that I'd watch it.
Yeah,
I can't remember who that was, but I never did it.
I enjoy it. It's not for everybody. There are aspects of it now I think that like are just like so poignant though. It's like a good show, and it's really, really funny. But it is like pretty violent and you know.
They should make a KC mob show.
They should. Pretty big, pretty long mob history in Kansas City. It's pretty interesting too, actually.
Yeah, Hillary's told me a lot, and I'm always like,
it's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah. The all the booze runners and stuff. That's
but
why
also like I guess that's why we don't necessarily have like municipal control over the police.
Yeah.
Because like some mob deal.
Yeah.
That was made years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything here was like established on like pretty corrupt terms. I mean, even like stuff outside of the mob, like the way that real estate was developed in Kansas City is like so. J.C. Nichols, the Country Club Plaza guy, is like he practically invented redlining. Like he like practically came up with the idea, and like that's why there's like that movement to change the name of the fountain and the street over there. Like J.C. Nichols Parkway is like no longer that street name, and I think that maybe it's Mill Creek, or they might have turned it into Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard for a brief time, and they like changed that. There's this whole thing that was going on with it, but the end, like at the end of that though, the reality is that guy literally invented one of the like most like destructive practices in real estate, you know, and other places learned about doing that
everywhere
from him. Yeah. He like wrote it down. He literally was like, I'm gonna do this exactly. That's probably how he sounded. He was like, I'm racist. It's just literally like writing is like, I'm so racist. But yeah, I think people don't understand like how like implicit it was. You know what I mean? Like, especially in the city, because like, you know,
still is.
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life, and like the way that people talked about it my entire life, like growing up, is they're just like, yeah, like that's just like how things are or whatever. Like that's just the way that things turned out. Like that's just how they happened. And it's like, well, yeah, it's how they happened, but it's not like it wasn't planned out that way. Like it's like it didn't just happen to be racist.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like there's like a fucking like end point to this where we can be like, this is where that came from. Right. You know? And so it's just crazy. Like I don't know, there's like really like a lack of like teaching people about that, I feel like. Especially like locally. You know, like in school and shit. I mean, like, we didn't learn about that shit. We talked about it briefly. We had a teacher who was, like, a para. His name was Mr. Thurman in my middle school, and he was an older black gentleman from Kansas City. And he, like, every year would give us a talk and explain, like, the race riots and stuff in Kansas, about, like, what happened in Kansas City after Martin Luther King Jr. was murdered. And like, cause he was like a young person, like at that time. And so he would like talk to us about it, but I don't remember like, you know, other than like just sort of like historical facts and stuff, and like his like firsthand account of like what he saw and when it was like happening and stuff, which like, to be clear, his message obviously like wasn't like a negative one about like the, you know, protests and riots and stuff. But you know, they were talking about like how they rolled tanks in like down Troost Avenue. Like they like that's literally crazy. Like there were like tanks in the street. So and pretty fucked up.
Now our police have tanks.
Yeah.
Back then it was like the National Guard-ish.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That they would
exactly. Yeah. The governors. Yeah. Because governors they can call in the National Guard. Yeah. And so that means that they're usually called in situations like that are, you know, I mean, this is Missouri. Right. So, pretty terrible. Let these fucking people be naked, man. Let them be naked.
Tatas.
Let us see them. That's you know what? We should run for office.
In Catalonia.
That'll be our that'll be our campaign slogan. Let us see him.
Let us see him.
Come on. Let us see him.
Did you see Musk drop the fight? Well, I guess
they're not fighting anymore?
No.
I knew that they weren't gonna fucking
wait,
fight,
Google
dude.
that. It's so he like Mark released a statement yesterday basically He's like, yeah, this guy's a pussy and keeps on like.
That's so funny.
Keeps
I
on
can't believe I haven't seen that.
changing shit.
Oh. Zuckerberg dismisses Musk for avoiding cage fight. It's time to move on. Dispute heats up over billionaire cage fight. Here's everything we know. God, dude, this is like so fucking. I want it to happen.
I wanted it to happen
result
too.
that I want is I want them to get hurt so bad. Like I think it'd be so funny.
Yeah, I figured Zuckerberg was gonna mop Musk.
Yeah,
and that's what I was hoping.
Yeah, dude. And I think that honestly, I think that Musk knows that that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg responded to Musk's post via Threads, asking if a more reliable platform should be used for a live stream of the fight, and adding he was not holding his breath for a fight to materialize. So wait, here we go. Zuckerberg, who's trained in the grappling combat discipline of jiu-jitsu, okay, Joe Rogan, also employed the training services of elite fighting talent in July, made evident by gym photos taken with UFC middleweight champion Israel
He's ripped in those photos.
Adesanya, Mark Zuckerberg.
Have you seen them? Yeah.
Yeah, he's jacked. Mark Zuckerberg is no fucking joke in the octagon, bro. I mean, here's the tale of the tape. Mark Zuckerberg's going to fuck up Elon Musk.
Okay.
The two billionaires reinvigorated interest in a potential match in early August when Musk said he was weightlifting to prepare for the fight, suggesting it would be live streamed on X, the rebranded Twitter platform. Okay, so there were shots fired over Zuckerberg being like, your platform sucks dong.
Right.
Although Zuckerberg has made clear he is ready for a match, the same can't be said for Musk, who said the date is still in flux and he may need surgery before a fight can happen. Oh, what a fucking coward. Dude. Right. What a fucking, oh, you need surgery? Dude, you're the richest guy on the planet. You could have had surgery anytime. Go get it done, motherfucker. Right. Like, quit putting it off so we can get this shit
What
on.
do you mean you may? You don't know?
Dude, exact date still in flux. That was on August 6th. So, days after calling the idea in flux, Musk said the Italian government agreed to an epic location. There's a link to this. What's it say? Italian government approved epic location for his building. Oh, that's just the story.
He was teasing it was like the Gladiators Arena.
Dude. Oh, like the Coliseum?
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I couldn't think of the name.
The Gladiators Arena, otherwise known as the Coliseum. That's how it's like Arrowhead Stadium, but it's GEHA Field. Okay, so basically he said that it was in flux, and then immediately a few days later was like, there's an epic location. We've got it all figured out. And then Zuckerberg shot down Musk's plan, saying, if he ever agrees on an actual date, you'll hear it from me. Dude, I love that Mark Zuckerberg is like talking shit like through. He's treating it like a UFC fight, like he's acting like a UFC fighter. I mean, I still think that he's a disgusting person that should probably be in prison, but I at least respect the fact that he's like talking a little shit and like he's like participating in the lead up to it, you know? Because I do feel like that's a big part of these fighting sports is people being like, I'm not scared of him.
Right.
I'll kill him. I'm going to kill him in there. And so that makes it all more fun. But it looks like there's just days after Zuckerberg expressed his hesitation about Musk's commitment to the match, the Meta CEO posted on Threads on August 13th, it's time to move on because Musk won't confirm a date, adding Musk said he needs surgery and months of recovery before fighting and wanted to do a practice round in Zuckerberg's backyard.
What's that mean?
Dude, what a coward. That's so funny. I would
He's
love...
like, can we do a WWE walkthrough, choreograph our fight real quick in your backyard?
Oh, dude, what a coward. And there's so many people out there that view Elon Musk as like, they're like, he's the man's man. Like he's like such a big, cool man's man guy. Like, And it's like, this is your guy. Like, this is the dude, you know? He won't even have he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Just set a date, man.
Right.
Just set a date. You know you got to get surgery. You know how long it's going to take to recover. You know how long you're going to have to train after your recovery.
Right.
So just set a date. People do this all the time. It doesn't even have to be. It could be in 2 years or something. But like, just your
fighters have dates 9 months, 12 months out all the time. Yeah, especially big bouts.
Exactly. So it's just like, dude, like you're a billionaire. Like nobody's expecting you to fucking like show up and fight this guy tomorrow. Like, do whatever you like. Give yourself the time, but. It seems like you're just wanting everybody to forget, but this is this guy's whole deal is like, he just does all this shit. It's like all these publicity stunts, and he gets in way over his head. That's why he owns Twitter, is because he was trying to do a big publicity stunt, and then he tried to get out of buying it, but he was legally bound into buying it. He overpaid. Everybody was like, knew that it was a terrible idea. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Right. So
you know?
Keep scrolling your screen.
No, you're good. I just I don't know, man. This fucking guy drives me crazy.
Another lie. The thing is, he always promises things. I remember, like, he used to say so much, like, he'd provide power to so-and-so after a tsunami hit, and then like, that never happened.
Well, he's like a total fraud. I mean, his whole like persona that he has built up is just, it's a total PR, like it's a total PR persona. None of it's real. He's never invented anything. Mm-hmm. He's just a guy with money, and he's just had money his whole life. You know what I mean? He's not self-made anything. All he's done is turned immeasurable fortune into an even more immeasurable fortune. Right. And it's pretty easy to fucking do when you have billions of dollars. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to be successful. Like when you're fucking walking around Tiffany's with emeralds in your pockets, you know, like that kind of shit as a child. Like, this dude, it's like all bullshit. And this is just like even more proof that it's all bullshit. I mean, I feel like the Twitter stuff, if that hasn't shown people that this guy is a fucking moron, and doesn't know what he's talking about, then I don't know, like, what else, like, what other evidence they need, you know?
Right.
Anybody who still thinks this guy is, like, cool or even smart is just completely disconnected from reality. Right. But I would love to see him fight Mark Zuckerberg. Would love to see it happen. I don't think it ever will. Mark Zuckerberg would mop the floor with that dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He just didn't want to be shirtless.
Yeah, I think that, well, dude, have you seen the pictures of him shirtless? Yeah. I've talked about it on here before. He looks like a Minecraft character, dude. He's got like a square body.
He does.
he looks like a fucking Minecraft character.
A Roblox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he looks like he's from a video game universe. He's like fucking Rayman or something, dude. He's like, it's so funny. Yeah,
you know the bad guy in Spy Kids?
Yes.
He'd play a good bad guy in Spy Kids. I don't know why.
Elon Musk?
Just like
100%
reminded me of like I don't know, a particular scene. It like zooms in on the guy's face. Yeah. And I was just seeing Elon.
Well, he always has that thing where he's like has one eyebrow up. And it's a classic. I feel like that's a classic thing that people do if they like want to look like a smart guy.
I think we're all getting played. I think he's just a social experiment to see how far.
You think he's like a CIA plant?
I think he's an experiment to see how far society will let white men go.
Yeah,
we're like,
maybe.
When are we gonna change these constructs? Is this not your last straw? This Elon guy.
It's really is like crazy. So I was reading this thing, like all these guys are fucking nuts. Like all these people that are like, you know, the folks who went down to the Titanic in the submersible, like just completely reckless. So one of the co-founders of that company, I was just reading this, he now is saying that he wants to colonize Venus, which is like, you know, colonizing Mars, like so far away from being able to do that.
Right.
Like it's just like we're not really close to being able to do that at all.
Yeah.
And Venus is like the
so
most
hot.
Inhospitable. Yeah. It's 900 degrees Fahrenheit. The surface, it's like a ball of gas.
Yeah.
Like the entire thing is like a ball of gas. Yeah. And the dude who brought you exploding submarines, you know, submarines that implode in the ocean due to how faultily crafted they are, is now going to send you onto the surface of an inhospitable 900-degree ball of gas.
Right.
And this dude believes that he can do it. Like, that's how I honestly think that, like, people who get this rich, they have, like, a mental illness. Because they can't conceptualize the fact that they don't know what they're talking about.
The 45-year-old guy who like drinks his son's blood or whatever to stay younger.
Yes, Peter
like,
Thiel.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like they're just nutty.
Yeah,
mental.
They're wild. They're wild. It's in it all.
And he looks old as fuck. He does not look young.
No,
you look like an old guy with muscles, bro.
And it's so funny to me too because people are like, there are so many people that are obsessed with like these conspiracy theories about like they're drinking the blood of babies to keep them young, and they're like it's all like the Jews or whatever. But then meanwhile there's this guy who's like, hello, I am a billionaire. Right. He's like and I have this great idea of a way that I'm going to keep myself young. And they're like, what is it? And he's like, I'm going to drink the blood of young people. And they're like, well, he's just got gumption. It's like, no, this is the exact stuff that you guys are like, it's the scariest thing ever. Right. It's literally this guy is doing the exact thing that everybody's like, oh, this is what's happening in the shadows. And he's like, I'm going to start a business where we drain the blood from young people.
They used to have like True Blood. That's like a real drink. Have you ever watched True Blood?
Oh, I've watched. So Jenny is like a True Blood fan from back in the day, and so I've seen. I can't say that I've seen like every episode, but we've gone for a rewatch. Honestly, the vibes of True Blood is more intentional with like its humor and stuff, and like not taking itself seriously at times. So like it's trying to be funny. Secret Life of the American Teenager is like it's not trying to be funny. Right. Like it just is shitty funny in the way that True Blood is making fun of.
Right.
Yeah. So just like a comparison there.
True Blood is so wild.
It's cool. It's like a funny
True blood.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Where?
It's like fake blood that like people.
Oh, it's fake?
That like vampires can
Oh,
drink.
yeah. I mean, fake blood, whatever. Like, that's your thing. Like, they sell fake piss, you know, and stuff so that people can pee on each other safe. I think that's fine.
Right.
You know, as long as it's fake. But this guy's like, I'm sucking the blood out of real people. He's like mixing it up in machines and shit. Right. And like making smoothies and injecting it into himself. That's like a thing though. There's like, that's like all doping. Like doping and cycling and stuff is just like basically like taking like transfusions of blood that has been like treated to like carry more oxygen, you know?
Oh wow.
Like that's like what the kind of shit that Lance Armstrong was doing.
So it wasn't like steroids?
No. It's like way beyond that. It's like science. Like that's the thing about steroids and stuff is like we have this idea of them in our head that it's like or like when people cheat and shit. That it's like, oh, they just do this thing and like it makes them stronger or whatever. Like, you know, Barry Bonds took steroids and he like, you know, and then he was able to hit all those home runs. And it's like, well, it definitely like gave him the like this more strength. Yeah, but like he was beating the shit out of the ball before. Like the guy was just a great batter, you know? And so that's like kind of the thing is we have this simple view of it where it's just like, oh, they inject themselves with something. But, you know, that guy still had to ride the fucking bike. It's tough. It's tough even if you got special blood.
Right.
But it is just funny to me that like people are fine with all this like weird blood shit.
How'd they find that out?
How'd they find out that's what?
They're like, your blood has more oxygen than it should.
So the way that they like measure it, I don't remember off the top of my head exactly, but it has to do with this measurement that they take, right? And like everybody's body has a natural level of this measurement that is like the oxygen levels in your blood, or like how much oxygen your blood can carry, essentially. And there's just sort of like a threshold or like a limit for most people, and there are some people who are like born with a higher level that are able to like excel in sports and stuff easier than some of those other folks can. And so Lance Armstrong was not one of those people, and like these readings and stuff are things that they have been taking forever, and there's ways for you to increase your numbers and like get higher, but there's just a ceiling, right? Like no matter what. And so there's just a natural ceiling. But Greg LeMond was a cyclist, an American cyclist before Lance Armstrong, and he naturally had like slightly higher like numbers of this thing. And so he knew a lot about it because it was, that was like what gave him an advantage over other people. And then slowly over time, all these other cyclists started like having huge increases in their numbers. And he was very outspoken about it. And people were pissed off at him because Lance Armstrong, he had dealt with like the cancer and stuff and like was doing all this really pretty decent work for like cancer advocacy and stuff. He was like this national hero and icon.
Yeah.
And so they viewed Greg LeMond as this bitter old man who was like, trying to take down this hero to people. But really in reality, he was the first person and like the most outspoken person to be like, this guy is cheating. Like he is cheating, and like everybody in this sport is cheating. And he got fucking lambasted for it. And then of course eventually like the whole house of cards fell down, and they were able to eventually, like, the science of drug testing, my understanding is like the science of like testing for that kind of stuff had to catch up to the cheating. It's just like anything, like the cheaters are ahead of the curve.
So he wasn't
of the
only
like
one.
Rule makers. No, 100%
See,
not.
I hate if you're not the only one doping and you still won, bitch.
Yeah.
Let me keep my medals.
Yeah. So I think that it's not as if every single cyclist was doing it, and there were cyclists who were,
but I guarantee you
really
the
close
whole
to
top
beating
10
him.
was.
No, I don't think so, because I think there was like a second place guy who came close to beating him, and they ended. But even then, I think that like there's something to be said about the fact that like, why
Did he cheat sorry.
I think that it should all just be legal to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, like, if these people want to compete at the highest level, and if they believe that doing that like will help them, and they're like willing to take that risk, like, I don't understand what the point of stopping them from doing that is, because at that point, like, it's almost also people like volunteering to like, be like, I'm gonna like see if I can get my fucking blood to carry more oxygen or something, and like there is probably like value in that, like for research and stuff too, and like it's just like, instead of banning it, like we should be like controlling it more, and like learning more about like all these different things. I think within reason. Like, I'm not saying that I think that like we should make it okay for like people to take stuff if it destroys their body, because then you have like the pressure of like, sports organizations and stuff trying to make people do that, and I think that that's like where the danger comes in. So there's like a balance, but I don't think that like, I just don't agree with like the binary that people have where it's like, if you took like steroids, then that automatically makes you bad, Like, I think that there's like a gray area,
I agree.
So anyways, that's my fucking reasonable take of the episode.
Steroids, yes.
I also just think it'd be fun to see like all these dudes just beating the shit out of a baseball or something, you know? It's like, why not?
That's what they were doing.
I know.
For a minute.
It's what they're getting paid for.
Yeah.
It's like why we got these beefcakes out here? They can't hit home runs.
Right.
Well, we've made it to the end of the episode.
Oh wow. Has it been 2 hours?
It's only been it's been 57 minutes exactly.
Oh, that one
on the nose.
The one is fake.
Yeah, the one is just it's that we're recording in the first hour. And so yeah. So it's like this is the 57th minute of the first hour.
School's starting back up. Are you going to school this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. I go back to school on the 20th.
Nice. I'm doing a Summer's End showcase at Woody's on the 22nd.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. School's back in for summer. Do you have anything that you want to plug besides that showcase at Woody's on August 22nd?
September 1st, Friday, September 1st, Cinder Block Brewery. We're back with Rinse Do. Yes. I have Maddie Stancic and Tony Sloan.
There you go.
And then surprises.
Is the voting still open for the grant?
No, we lost the grant. I just never made a post about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I voted
loud about the wins, silent about the losses, baby.
I voted.
No, I need to make a post and like thank everyone for voting. But I'm waiting until I have our logo because I want to make a post and let people know we're still doing it and all that stuff.
Yeah, because y'all are doing a festival.
Yeah, and it's still going to be on, just it won't be this year and with Eventbrite's money, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Live to fight another day.
Right, absolutely.
Take things as they come.
Right. If $20,000, 20 of you got 20... If 20,000 of you guys give us $1... we won't even need the grant. But listen, if 20,000 of you guys voted, we would have won. So. And
hey, if 20,000 of you guys are listening to this podcast,
oh yeah,
holy shit!
Oh, this shit's gonna go. They're like, oh, he's got Petty talking about nude beaches and Zuckerberg.
I don't have. Yeah, send anything at all to jakeand.off.podcast@gmail.com if you want me to look at something. And follow us on social media at jakeand.off.podcast and Petty
at Petty Comic, PETTYCOMIC.
There you go.
On TikTok and Instagram.
And as always, thank you for listening to this podcast. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.